Hello and welcome to the September 5th, 2025 Contributor Comms team meeting. I am Chris Short, your host for today. Friendly reminder, all Kubernetes community meetings fall under the CNCF Code of Conduct. Uh, that boils down to, you know, treating others with respect and being awesome. So, hi Swathi, welcome. Uh, Normally, Caslin asks if folks want to, or I should say, normally we ask if folks want to introduce themselves. So feel free to do so. If not, we can move on with the meeting. All right. I expect this to be quick since there's not many of us. So here's hoping. All right. Anything that anyone knows of that we should communicate this week? Anything new for LWKD stuff or socials? Candidate nominations are due for steering. Then next week, voting begins on the 10th. Okay. Rougefall should be taking care of that, and I have approved socials this week for that specifically. Cool. Moving along. Just gonna say NA. Anything new? I know I need to put in a PR to add me to the moderator list for Zoom admins now that I have two sponsors, but anything other than that? Ooh. All right. Moving on to updates and big wins. Frederico, you have a merged PR.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Sorry. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
having
no
some
worries.
issue. No, I mean, we've discussed this a couple of weeks ago, although
Mm-hmm.
the actual merge was sort of
Wonky.
no, it went very quickly because of the retros
Mm.
themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just more of an update than anything. But obviously, feel free to check if it's just a beginning, so we can obviously open new PRs and add more stuff. So it's a very small little addition that clearly specifies that the team leads should be contacting the ContribEx comms team during the start of the cycle, leaving it open the actual tasks that might be
Right.
discussed because obviously that will depend actually on our own scope, on the release
Yep.
needs. So being
Yep.
very prescriptive wasn't ideal. So yeah, it's just an update from that. I shared this in our Slack a couple of weeks ago. It went and it's merged. Any improvements can be added, but at least we have something in.
Sweet. That's awesome. Um, yeah, and I looked at the PR. You can see it in the video if you watch it back. Looks good to me as far as like general awareness and who to talk to. I think that's good as far as the process and steps and everything. I think that's uh too fluid potentially for something like this,
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah, I think great idea for just adding that little stub and off we go. I did not share the notes doc link, so there it is. in case you need it. My apologies for that. Um, Trying to think. Uh, we might have a new way, maybe. It needs to be tested, obviously documented in GitHub and everything. We might have a new way to kind of handle the Zoom meeting recordings going to YouTube. Zapier's added an add to playlist functionality, so that does kind of take out some of the logic that we've had to put in place over the past year or so. Chad and I are going to be working on that. I will probably not be able to get to it until Sunday at the earliest. Um, so yeah, I'll just put potentially. All right, going to the board at 12 after. Like I said, this is going to go fast. All right, for we go. I'm assuming the work group policy thing has not moved at all. Maybe it has. Nope, not yet. Okay. And yeah, those are both the same thing. Steering spotlight.
Actually, that one it should be on the PR review. If you can just move it
Oh,
there.
yeah, sure. Certainly.
Yeah. Uh,
Wonderful. Always nice to move things to the right.
yeah. Um,
Just looking through it.
Wait, let's see if this is the one.
Yeah,
Oh
steering
yeah,
spotlight
yeah,
blog. Yeah.
yeah. That's the one. It's the yeah, because the PR itself is ready. I think it's planned for next week, so someone should definitely have a look. If I'm mistaken and the date is passed, I can bump it, but
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't get published on that date, but TBD,
yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
I mean, as long as it isn't merged, it won't. But
Right.
uh, there's a draft tag there. So
Hmm.
the idea is to, and this was Tim's suggestion, likely also aligned with some of the new policies, that
Yeah.
we have the date, we have the content, so we the approved gets and the merge gets in due to the content. Then there's another PR that removes the draft flag,
Ah, okay.
um, and um, and it gets published because even if it gets merged now, it won't
Yeah.
get published because of the draft tag
Yeah.
that's true.
Good. I like that process, right? Like to publish, you just remove tag. Done. That's
That,
nice.
yeah, as long as you don't have to then have a long discussion on that PR that removes the draft. Uh,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. There's always that.
yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. Good stuff. I know we talked about this. I need to actually take a look at this. Um, SciEx not here, but add LinkedIn. Wonderful sticky notes. Um, cool. I'll look at that. Hopefully this weekend as well. In progress, SIG auth spotlight. Ugh. Yeah, 3 weeks ago I removed lifecycle stale. Uh, Federico, do you know anything about the SIG auth spotlight?
Hmm. I was looking into that. I haven't got any additional feedback since last week.
Okay,
Hmm.
cool. No worries. SIG storage spotlight. Were you interested in working on this? Okay. I'm going to take that as a maybe. Darshan's not here, I'm
Yeah,
assuming. Yeah. Okay. And then SIG Arch.
that's the
SIG
cover
Arch.
article that I'm.
Got it.
I actually just made some additional movements there to gather someone from SIG architecture to work with me on that, but no major
Sweet.
movements. So
Okay.
it's hopefully in this month, likely not next week, but in this month we will have some updates on this. That would be the final article.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Um, yeah, I should probably hit or remove the life cycle stale thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? Slash remove, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it says there somewhere if you go to the end.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. Let's see. Da. Yeah. Thank you. Waiting. SIG Arch feedback. Comment.
Perfect.
There we go. Cool. Any new things or, to do things that have moved? I can just go through the list real quick. Oh, this Kate's in for Spotlight. Lost the HackMD link. Writer has not responded. Okay, never mind. Moving back to do. Nothing on SIG apps, I don't think. Right? No. Okay. So all this stuff.
Sim. Boa tarde.
Sorry, am I sharing my screen? No, you might not be able to see it too. So there is that. I'm looking at the to-do column in the board. I don't think there's any movement on anything of that like that yet. Yeah, most of this stuff is stale. Okay. All right. Cool. Um, I know Avni was added as a org member. Swathi, yours is in a PR waiting to be merged with three other people's org membership requests. Um, Once that's done and we have the documentation for what should be the new way of publishing videos from Zoom to YouTube, once that automation gets fleshed out, the new version of it, I should say, gets fleshed out, we can work to modify things. But ultimately, I would like y'all to, like, we'll do it during a work session here in the comms meeting. We should probably schedule that. Um, I'll work with Caslin on that. But yeah, the next time we have a working session, which I will try to get planned, um, we'll go through it and give you the lay of the land, give you an idea of all the different things that are possible. Because, just because it's in Zapier doesn't mean it's actually connected, kind of thing. Um, yeah, but for now, Swathi, feel free to kick the tires on a free account, and we'll get you into the everything you need to get access to Zapier once everything's merged in and you're officially an org member. So sorry it's been a couple of weeks, and yeah, just waiting on that. Cool. Anything else, anyone? Susan, did you have any updates? I see you lurking.
There's a couple, I see a couple batches of SIG multi-cluster cons that are supposed to go out on the 8th and the 10th. Darshan has written the ones for the 10th. Is there any problem with borrowing some language that Rohit wrote for a previous,
No,
like the
that's
ones on
fine.
August 25th? Okay,
I think the only thing with social media is you don't want to post the exact same text.
sure. Yeah,
Right? Like just that's it. That's the only
okay,
thing. Like modified text is fine, obviously.
okay. Then I can fix up the ones for the 8th. The ones for the 10th are already done. And then I think this would be good practice for me to try scheduling these in Buffer. Does that sound
Hmm.
okay?
Yeah,
Okay. And
I
then if,
should get an alert when that happens, assuming that Zapier automation is working. So yeah,
okay,
I'll jump in once you put them in and approve them, and off we go.
fabulous. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Hmm.
All right. Cool. If there's nothing else, I will wrap the meeting for today in literal record speed.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, I joined first time this meeting. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so
Welcome.
like I have been LFX mentee for CNCF Microx project 2025 spring term, and I've been contributing to SIGDoc for 1 month approx, and my maybe 15-16 PR has been already merged and some of are open for review. So I just joined meeting to get what this meeting is about and how to get more involved in the community.
Sure. So I didn't do the normal, what does this group usually do kind of speech that Caslin does. So I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do my best impersonation of it, and Frederico can chime in when he sees fit. So, you know, a project like Kubernetes needs folks that are actively managing community communications, right? So that includes things internal to contributors and things pertinent to end users. So we have social media, the kates.dev website and blog, GitHub, obviously, and some other fun things here and there that we use, like Buffer, for example, and Zapier, which were both talked about on this call, to manage social media. Um, Blogs is mostly Frederico, and we work with the SIG Docs blog team to get those reviewed and onto the blogs. Um, yeah, right now we're doing a SIG multi-cluster survey. Surveys are entirely possible, within the community, and that's a good example of kind of how we work with the individual SIGs to get whatever they need communicated out. And to, in this case, for this survey, it's kind of a month-long campaign prior to KubeCon, in that we started posting last month, and it will go until the 22nd of this month, and just regular cadence of reminders and messages about, hey, like, here's who qualifies to fill this survey. We draft them. Usually, for something like this, we'll have like a Google spreadsheet with dates and audiences and accounts and all that stuff filled in. And especially the most important part, the content for a social media post. And then once, that looks good, we ask folks to drop those into Buffer to be approved once. So basically, anyone in the community can write Buffer posts, draft them, but only a handful of folks can actually approve them to go out. So, yeah, if you jump in and social media is your first thing that you do in this group, great, awesome. And we try to enable people to be as autonomous as possible with that. But we do understand there's, you know, a thing to posting to like, 300,000 people on Twitter, for example, or X or whatever it's called now. So yeah, it's a large audience potentially. So that's why we have the segmentation between end users and contributors. And our main focus is on contributors and things going on in the project, like, helping amplify steering elections, everything like that. Frederico, what I miss?
Not much, if anything. I guess that yeah, I mean, there are many different venues for participation here. We are a contributor experience focused group, so our
Yeah.
main thing is to make sure that we can do one or both of these things. One, make existing contributors expose them in terms of making their work more visible to the outside world. And that's why we have Kubernetes.dev as the contributor site, for example, in which we write from and to the Kubernetes community. So not specifically to the Kubernetes end user, but to the Kubernetes community, be it developer or anything else. And also, obviously, to help those that want to get involved in Kubernetes for some reason. So there's a push and a pull aspect to the to SIG contributor experience. And in the comms group, which is this specific sub-project, this materializes in comms, right? In essentially, and as Chris just mentioned, through two different but connected layers. One, the blog articles that we write. Some of them go to Kubernetes.dev, some of them go to there and to Kubernetes.io. Then we also have the work that we do in by request from other SIGs. So some SIG needs to put out an important announcement. So we work in terms of the content itself, also in terms of this, as Chris mentioned, social media needs to be handled with care because you're pushing out content to a significant number of people. So we do have some quality gates, like in the blogs, we do PRs. It's all in the open. We get the content approved and reviewed, and then it gets published on a specific date. So blogs in the site and also social media in the supported social media accounts, which are mostly a way to also broadcast the blogs, but also contain some specific uh, information that sometimes is important to broadcast. Within this, I would say that there is, and I'm missing more stuff because we do have some infrastructure work as well, and others.
Yeah.
I'm biased towards blogging and stuff like that, but within this context, there's always space not only to do the something within this, but also to propose something maybe we're missing,
Yeah.
something that improves contributor experience, and we would be the first ones to champion any new idea.
Yeah, see the
Absolutely.
blog you are talking about, which we saw on the see on the Kubernetes contributor site, right?
It's yeah,
Both of
Kubernetes.dev.
them. Yeah. We have written stuff for both of them.
Yeah.
So, writing blog you are talking about, so we are specifically writing blog for Kubernetes site or individual blog we write for our anything like about Kubernetes or something. Then if you guys are like it, and then you will put on the Kubernetes site. Is it's like that?
It's not quite that easy.
No.
Okay.
You can go
Um,
on, Chris.
yes, thank you. So, you can write whatever you want on your blog. Doesn't necessarily mean it'll come over here or not, right? Like we are very focused on helping elevate contributor messaging, right? So if a SIG does something and needs feedback or just wants to let folks know what they did, they either do it through a release or through comms. And those are the two typical methods that happens. So for the comm side of things, right? Like we focus on SIG spotlights, less on like feature blogs from the release. The release team has their own communications group that comes and goes as they see fit, and we work with those folks frequently, just as Federico talked about at the beginning of the call. That's why he had that PR in there for updating the handbooks for the release. And yeah, so for blogs specifically, we have a board that is linked in the notes, but I will share it here as well. That is already full of ideas. This board is. I'll drop the link in here and Zoom. And what the board does is give folks a starting point as far as like, here's things that we have thought of that need to be, written essentially. Many of them are SIG spotlights, right? That we have, you know, we want to spotlight SIG Kubernetes infrastructure because of the work they do and how kind of behind the scenes it is, but very unique to Kubernetes, the open source project in general, how large our infrastructure is and how it's automated by a small group of champions. And there's role handbooks and guides and everything for all the functions in GitHub, which I'll grab you the link to that real quick too, if I can find it.
Yeah, I got it. I mean, I would love to do some contribution towards the blog and social media things in future.
Yeah,
And
and we're open to new ideas.
and some of my PR has been reviewed by Federico, and it's nice to see you here.
It's always good to put faces with names.
Thank you.
Anytime. Anything else, folks?
I'm
Thanks for
done.
joining, by the way. Cool. Awesome. I will end this recording then. Thank you for joining. I will see y'all next time.
Cheers.